Oh, I'm absolutely delighted to speak with you.
Aw.
You've made two movies that have rocked me to my core, and
Oh,
I love that for you. I still believe The Nightingale is the best movie that came out that year.
oh,
I
thank
will,
you,
that is a hill
EJ.
I am dying on. But no, I
Thank
want to know,
you.
where did this love of this kind of challenging, shocking movies come from? I know you worked under Lars von Trier at one point, but where was those like early inspirations for this challenging film love?
I mean, I've been in love with film since, like most of us, like a lot of us since I was a kid, and I always wanted to be moved by films and moved in some direction. And I think the stories that spoke to me, the films that spoke to me were always had the ability to move and confront and challenge. And I loved horror. Even as a kid, I'm a Gen Xer, so we were allowed to watch horror films as kids. We were hardly supervised. And yeah, I just wanted to do that. I wanted to make those kinds of films that shook people, that impacted people in some way.
And you did it so well, I believe, especially with the Babadook. And I've seen this movie multiple times, but this time I'm now a stepfather to a
Oh,
first
wow.
grader.
Oh,
So,
wow.
oh wow, with
Yes.
sometimes maybe some behavioral issues where I was like, get out of my life, Miss Kent, like please, like this is, and it's interesting. Do you get that response from mothers or parents in
Yes.
general of being like, thank you for not
Yeah.
demonizing either. Like you do, this movie
Yeah.
has such an interesting look, and have parents come out to you about that?
Yeah, definitely. Just on the quiet. Because I think it's so hard to, I mean, I'm not a parent. I'm a parent of three animals, but I'm not a human parent. And I just think it's so hard. And I feel for parents that you can't say, I want to kill my kid today. No, oh, I want to strangle them. But the film speaks to that kind of frustration, and it's a taboo area to have any feeling, especially for a mother, to have any feeling except absolute, um, you know, selfless love. But that's just not human. I mean,
Hmm.
women will feel frustration, or they'll feel not seen or heard, or like a servant to this small creature. And I think that I wanted to explore that without judgment. And thank you for saying that, because I feel it's important to, I try with my work to look at both, all characters, and try and find the humanity in them and find a way for us to understand what they're going through.
Yeah, you completely nailed characters that I feel are human, that are relatable. When you were working on Monster years and years before even Babadook, did you think you were going to get the impact? I know that's kind of hard to have the foresight for I made a short to I made, an indie film
No.
to what it
Yeah.
is now 10 years later.
No, and I never intended to make the Babadook while I was shooting Monster. I didn't, it wasn't, some people make a proof of concept short these days, which
Yeah.
is perfectly valid and a good thing. But that wasn't, I wasn't that planned. I didn't have Babadook, unfortunately, waiting to go much earlier. It was, I think, 8 years between the short and the
Wow.
feature. And it was in that time I'd written 6 or 7 feature scripts, and couldn't get any of them made. Too ambitious, maybe not good enough. And then I made a firm decision to write something achievable on a low budget, which is a similar space that I've been in lately. Uh, and it's a good one, because then you're not writing scripts that just remain for your eyes only. So
Hmm.
with the Babadook, it was a conscious choice. In a house, two people, what can you do? Well, alongside that, I was going, experience. My dad had died, and I was grieving, and that fascinated me, the process of grief, or more importantly, the process of not grieving and
Hmm.
not be having something so horrible happen to you with the loss that you were too frightened to even look at it, which I have enormous compassion for. I mean, imagine being in Amelia's situation, losing your partner, the love of your life, at the moment you're in labor about to give birth. It's almost unthinkable. And horror, I feel, does that better than any space. it gives us the ability to explore something unimaginable.
Yeah, horror has always opened us up to facing very hard-hitting, very, taboo subjects, as you said earlier. But I also love that the Babadook has given way to pop culture love. I mean, you have to have
Yeah.
been aware of the Babadook gay meme that happened and
Yes,
all
I
of
think
that.
so.
And in the nicest way. I mean, I love the jokes that came out of it and everything. I love that it
Do.
it added more to it. I think for us, I was a fan of the movie, but I was also like, can I please have it be not so scary, not so serious? So when that happened, I thought it was interesting. Were you aware of the internet
Oh, I mean, I
fascination?
loved it. I loved it because I used to run the social media pages and reply to people as the Babadook and say, "Oh, piss off! Who cares what you think?" And be really rude. And people loved it that I was rude to them. So when the Babadook kind of developed this other persona for a large group of people, yeah, I was pretty delighted by that. I mean, to hear two drag queens talking about the Babadook is perfection to me. It's no greater compliment.
I just rewatched a season of RuPaul's Drag Race, and there was someone dressed
Yeah.
as the Babadook in the audience,
Yes. Now
and I
that's
was
the I was trying to remember the Babadook reference within Drag Race because I've watched everything and I thought, did I dream this? Is this a
No,
dream that
it
I
was
have?
very fever
No.
dream like though of seeing the Babadook in a mist of drag queens. I'm like, wow. But that kind of goes into my next and final question. The
Yeah.
pop culture icon that the Babadook has become, he's in this modern collection, I think, with people like Art the Clown and things like that.
Yeah.
What were you feeling with this character and the impact it's had, not with just the gay community or the horror community, but with everyone? It feels like the Babadook became a touchstone. Did you feel that coming at ever? Especially
Well,
after
I mean, even if
that
people haven't
Sundance.
seen, even if, no, certainly not. Not out of Sundance. No. And no, I mean, I'd hope that people would see the film and get something from it. But even if people haven't seen the film, a lot of people have heard about the Babadook. And it's like it being in the Urban Dictionary and being a term for a certain kind of person. And this stuff is amazing because I was told you can't call a film the Babadook. No one will remember that name.
Mhm.
So it's a bit of a middle finger to all those people who were wrong.
No,
It's just resonated. It's a joy to me. I love it.
you're so awesome. I just love your reaction to it and just your willingness to be like, this has evolved even outside of my own ideas and your admiration for. I mean, we're 10 years later and it still feels fresh and relevant. I love that. The movie feels timeless in that
Yeah,
way. So thank you so
yeah.
much for speaking with me and chit-chatting
Uh,
with me about all things Babadook.
you're welcome, EJ. I mean, the last thing I want to say is, I'm to let people know that I'm going to be in New York and LA next week and the week after. Not sure when you're airing this, but it's amazing to me that the film went out on two screens initially with IFC, and now IFC are releasing it with Iconic on 500 screens. And it's just a testament to the film, but also like to the love of the film, but also to the fact that people want to go back into the cinema and watch films on the big screen. I can't wait. It's going to be
I
great.
mean, only from a awesome female horror filmmaker, especially. So thank you for making this for us that has lasted as long as it has now.
Oh, thank you so much,
Of
AJ.
course.
Thank
Thank you.
you.